$1 quadrillion. I mean, just try to picture that. It's a 1 with 15 zeros after it. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But what if I told you that in a way, we're already there? Yeah, you heard that right. So let's dive in and unpack what's really going on with that number. All right, let's just get right to it. I've got a question for you. Do you think the global market is already worth over $1 quadrillion? Like right now, today? Take a guess. Believe it or not, if you look at the data from the end of 2023, the answer is yes. The total global market value was pegged at almost $1.1 trillion. Just an insane number. But wait, hold on, because that number, it's not what it seems. And this is where it gets interesting. The real answer is kinda yes and no, It's one of those situations where a headline number is technically correct, but also super misleading. So we've got to slice through the jargon here to see the real picture. Okay, so let's break this down. The key to this whole thing is realizing that not all value is the same. We have to understand the huge difference between something called notional value and what we all think of as equity value. All right, this is super important. On the left, you've got that crazy quadrillion-dollar number. That's notional value. It's all about derivatives and interest rates. Basically, it's the total face value of all the financial bets out there. It's a measure of leverage, not actual cash sitting in a bank. Now, on the right, that's equity value. This is what you and I think of as the market. It's the real, tangible value of all the shares in companies like Apple, Google, you name it. It's a measure of actual wealth. And look at the difference. It's only about 127 trillion. So here's the best way to think about it. Notional value is the total amount of money bet on a horse race. Equity value is what the actual horses are worth. Big difference, right? Okay, so now that we've separated the bets from the horses, we can ask the real question. Let's forget about that notional value stuff. When is the equity value, the actual stock market, going to hit that $1 quadrillion milestone? Well, if we look at the historical data, there's actually a projection for this. So let's check out the most likely path to get us there. So this is where we are right now. In 2024, the global equity market is sitting at roughly $127 trillion. To get to 1 quadrillion, that's 1,000 trillion, by the way, we need the market to grow almost 8 times bigger than it is today. That is a huge jump. And here it is, the big reveal from the report that analyzed all this. If the global economy just keeps growing at the same pace it has for the last 25 years or so, we're looking at the year 2060. Yep, the quadrillion-dollar market could be here in about 36 years. But, the future never moves in a perfectly straight line. That 2060 date is just the middle-of-the-road projection. So let's look at a few different ways this could play out, from best case to worst case scenarios. This chart really shows you how much of a difference a few percentage points make over the long run. Look at that top line. If things get really aggressive and we see 8% growth a year, we could hit that quadrillion-dollar mark by 2051. That's only 27 years away. But if things slow down to a crawl, like just 3% growth, we won't get there until 2094. That's 70 years from now. So our baseline, that moderate 5.84% growth, gets us right to that 2060 target. And this is a super important point. That moderate 5.84% number isn't some pie-in-the-sky fantasy. That historical average already includes huge market crashes. We're talking the dot-com bubble bursting, the 2008 financial meltdown, the whole COVID shutdown. All of that is already factored in. So it's a pretty robust battle-tested figure. Okay, so growing nearly 8x is a massive undertaking. It doesn't just happen by magic. So what's going to actually drive all that growth? What are the big engines that could power this thing? It pretty much comes down to 3 main things working together. You've got your basic monetary inflation. Then you have global market expansion. And finally, and this is a big one, a huge jump in tech productivity. Let's take a quick look at each one. First up, inflation. This one's the easiest to get. As more money gets printed over time, the dollar price of everything just goes up. Stocks, houses, everything. It's like a constant tailwind pushing those market numbers higher, even if the real value isn't changing quite as fast. Next, you've got global expansion. Think about it. Massive economies like India and countries all over Africa and Southeast Asia are really just getting started. As their economies mature and their own stock markets grow, they're going to add trillions and trillions of new value to the global pot. And the third one, which might just be the biggest game changer of all, is technology. I'm talking about AI and automation. These things could completely rewrite the rules of business, letting companies make way more money without having to hire more people. Just imagine that. And hey, here's a little side note. A lot of the biggest companies are staying private for longer these days. So the public market might actually become a smaller piece of the pie, but the companies in it could be even more valuable. All right, so we've gone from a confusing headline all the way to a pretty solid projection for the year 2060. But let's zoom out for a second. What does a number this big actually mean for us? A quadrillion-dollar market. That's not just a number for traders to look at. It represents a staggering amount of human creativity, capital, and raw potential. And it looks like it's coming, whether it's in 2050 or 2090. So the real question, the one that really matters, is this. When we have all that at our fingertips, what are we going to build with it? And just a quick reminder before we go, this is all for informational purposes, okay? It's not financial advice. These are just projections based on historical data, and of course, they're not a guarantee of what's going to happen in the future.